Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Sunday, June the 26th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by one of the best that I know of, MLB and NFL especially, providers in the industry of DFS, and that's Mr. Josh Crash Davis. Crash, how are you today?
Doing well, Coach. I appreciate that. I'm ready to get back to being one of the best MLB providers, ready to get on a hot streak. You've been on a real hot streak lately, and I'm looking to join you starting today. So let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll make it a friendly competition. We'll see who can get to the top of the leaderboard. Plus, on top of that, we're going to build a two brains are better than one Fanduel lineup today on our special Sunday slate. Crash took yesterday instead of today, so we're going to do that. That's going to be exciting. We'll share PrizePicks picks and go through all of that stuff. So, yes, it was a fantastic night last night. Again, we were up toward the top of the leaderboard on Draftkings Fanduel and Yahoo, and messed around with some takedowns, nice wins on all of them. A lot of good stuff for our members. Our members had some takedowns, so this is the kind of stuff that we love. So great day here. And if you want to join us at Coach Talk, go to dfscoachtalk.com. We have our best deal of the year. It's a 4th of July special. You can get it from now through the 4th of July, and that membership, whenever you sign up for it, takes you all the way to September 2nd, and it's only $74, $74 deal. So it is really a big bang for your buck. It's like $1 a day. Mm-hmm. And we have just been hot on all kinds of stuff. We've added MMA, hockey, NASCAR, and we've got some of our pros handling those. We have our golf sweats today doing well there. Did you see my lineup yesterday, man? That's the best single day I've ever had a lineup. I was 25 under par with my guys.
Wow. Now, was that on DraftKings? Because I didn't get to play your FanDuel lineup.
It was I had a DraftKings and a FanDuel. One was 21 under and one was 25 under. And I was like, holy crap. So we're right sitting in the catbird seat today for the weekend only. We're in first. So hopefully we see that one through. But really excited about that. And then again, NASCAR tonight with Mike. He really gets that going. I'm pumped for that. I can't believe I had that win with Joey Logano a couple weeks ago. Now I'm like Mr. NASCAR all of a sudden.
Never wanted to even provide NASCAR before, and now you're like, I can't wait till.
I know it. I'm waiting for the picks to come out from Mike. But anyway, if you want to enjoy all of that and have fun in our Discord, we have a really fun Discord, very positive. And when you become a member here, you get a one-on-one session with myself or Crash or one of our other pros, where we'll go over contest selection, bankroll management, everything that's going to help you build a sustainable bankroll in all of DFS. Also, too, just we're going to do today is go over 14 games. There's 15 games totally played. We're going to discard the first game, and we're going to be providing for our members the main slate that starts at 135 on FanDuel and DraftKings. And on Yahoo, it's a 14-game rest of the day slate. So we're going to go through those games, talk about, of course, as we always do, our pay up, our value, and all of our different BVP and HR calls. And then we'll finish up with that two brains are better than one build. So a couple of things real quickly on the weather front. We've got not that much to worry about. We may get off with a clean day here. Mm-hmm. I'm going to keep an eye on Cleveland. That's the only game that has a chance for some decent pop-up storms this afternoon. And it is a game with some good hitting in it, Boston and Cleveland. So as of now, I feel comfortable with it, but we'll keep you up to date in Discord because that could be a key game on the slate. Other than that, the only things to take note of is a possible stray shower in Atlanta for Atlanta. I know they get a lot of ownership. I think that game's fine. No worries there. But two things of note, Crash. There are two games that have 20-mile-an-hour sustained winds blowing out, which doesn't happen that often. Yeah. One of them is the Colorado at Minnesota game, and the other one is the Baltimore at Chicago White Sox game. So is that going to affect your plays a little bit there?
It could. He's not my top pay-up option, but one of my favorite pay-up options was Dylan Cease against Baltimore. So it could affect that a little bit. We'll just have to see, kind of what the lineup is for Baltimore and just kind of go from there. But I'm pretty well locked in on my main top pay-up option, and we'll see if Cease makes the cut or not.
I bet you we're going to have some of the same picks today, but
yeah,
we never share notes before the pod because we want it to be organic when we steal each other's picks all the time.
Right.
All right, let's dive in. We got a big show here. So let's start right off. We'll do as we have with our new, the last week or so. We've gone with a little bit new format, break the games up a little bit, and we get a tremendous response. All the responses we're getting on YouTube and Twitter seem to love it. No negatives. So we're going to keep going with it for now. It gives everybody a good opportunity to get a base lineup set and then take it from there. So, all right, first game, 135, Houston Astros at the New York Yankees. How in the hell did the New York Yankees get no hit? Let's start with that.
I have no idea. I mean, of all the lineups to get no hit this year, that's the most surprising by far. I mean, it's incredible. And for it to come from Christian Javier just out of the blue, So.
And the bullpen. I mean, I wonder if Vegas had an odds for this team gets no hit. I wonder.
I bet it wasn't even an option, but I bet it would have been astronomical if there would have been. Because
oh my God, I was shocked. I could not believe it. I mean, I didn't particularly think they'd go completely crazy, but I thought they'd hit some home runs and do a little bit of here and there. But anyway, that was a shocker. We'll see if anything, is like that today. So we've got this game is in New York again. Nice, warm, 89 degrees. Breeze blowing right to left, so nothing that's going to affect that. It's a 9 total. So you've got 3.95 implied for Houston and 5.05 for the Yankees. So they go from being no hit to having an implied total over 5. It's Jose Urquidy with his 7.6K salary against Nestor Cortez and his 10.1K. So that we'll see. How are the Yankees going to bounce back from that game will be the question.
Yeah.
Then we have Boston at Cleveland. Again, the only weather game of some concern. It says game time around 35% to 41%, and then mid-game 54% chance of rain. So again, this will be the game we'll be following very, very closely before lock. You can catch that info right in Discord. It is a 9.5 total, so a big number here. 4.75 implied for Boston, 4.75 implied for the Guardians. So you've got two teams pushing that 5-run mark with Rich Hill at 7.9K and Aaron Savali at 6.4. So key game for you hitting wise?
Yeah, I was just looking at the weather though. It does look pretty bad.
I know.
It looks like they may not get a clearing until, almost tonight. So
it doesn't look like it clears to me until like 6 p.m. So
yeah, exactly. And that's what I was looking at. So will they actually wait that long? I don't know. A lot of times they won't. So that'll be key to see if they're going to keep that option available to play it late.
It looks more like intermittent rain and not like pouring rain though. So it's going to be tricky.
Yeah. What I just saw said heavy thunderstorms like early. So we'll see how long they wait that out.
All right. Well, we'll be on it the rest of this morning and right before game time. All right. 1:40 p.m. in the Dome in Tampa. It's Pittsburgh Pirates and Tampa Bay Rays. We've got, how about this? 2.35 implied for Pittsburgh and only 3.65 implied for Tampa. So we have a 6 total. I don't think we've had one, have we?
No, I don't think so. That's very, very low scoring.
Wow. Two guys I've played this year, Ronzi Contreras. I was playing him before his first start, and Shane McClanahan, who's super stud. Man, this game sure looks like pitching duel, and Vegas thinks so too.
Yeah. What do you think about this Isaac Paredes guy? I mean, he's just been on He's hit 3 home runs in a row now. He's been on a tear. Do you think he's going to keep that up?
I mean, there's no he's got to regress from some of that. But the question is, are they going to move him around in the order at all? Where's he going to bat?
Right.
Because he's their best hitter right now.
Yeah.
It's an interesting scenario here. But yeah, I'm definitely leaning pitchers here, no doubt about it.
Yep.
All right, 210. We've got Colorado at Minnesota with that 20-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. But the total right now is still only 8.5, 3.39 implied for Colorado, 5.11. So we have an over 5. That always gets attention on the implied total for Minnesota. It is Ryan Feltner at 8.2K and Jumpin' Joe Ryan at 9.1K. So interesting here, especially with that wind blowing out. Nice 71-degree temperature, but again, you've got that. Get the ball up in the air, and it could carry right out.
Right. Yep.
210 game in Milwaukee. You know that stadium a bit in the dome there. It's a big 9.5 total, 5.19 implied for Toronto, 4.31 for the Brewers. So good numbers, big number for Toronto on the road. It's Jose Berrios at 8.5K. And your buddy Chichi Gonzalez, 5.7K.
Yeah, don't get me started on him. He's just there because of Woodruff and Peralta's injuries. But man, and Ashby is dealing with an injury too. Actually, it's Ashby that he's starting for. So, yeah, I'm just hoping we can allow 3 runs and get him out of there or something, because I could see him giving up 6 or 7 against this offense. So it's pretty scary.
The Toronto stack has to be a consideration, as painful as it is for you.
Yeah. I mean, there's no denying that. Yeah, unfortunately, you're right.
We'll see how it goes. All right, next one's 210. It's the Oakland A's at Kansas City Royals, 76 degrees. Little wind blowing in, actually, at 10 miles an hour. 3.73 implied for Oakland, 4.77 implied for the Kansas City Royals, 8.5 total. James I can say it. Caprillion. There you go. I'm trying to spit it out. James Caprillion is only 5.6K, and Brady Singer is 8.1K. Pretty big spread in the prices there. But yeah, I don't know. These two teams are just so bad.
Yeah, they are. We just got the Yankees lineup, Coach. So we got LeMahieu, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Donaldson, Torres, Hicks, Kiner Falefa, and Trevino. So no Joey Gallo, who was like 1 of 12 against Jose Urquidy. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, sounds like a no-hitter again for them. No, just kidding. All right, next one, 210, Baltimore Orioles, Chicago White Sox, 8.5 total, 3.38 implied for Baltimore, low number there, a good 5.12 for the White Sox. Jordan Lyles takes the hill for Baltimore at a 7.3K on these are DraftKings prices, and Dylan Cease, a big 9.6K going against Baltimore with that low implied. So it is wind blowing out here as well to 20 miles an hour, and it's 78 degrees. Yikes. Interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Chicago Cubs, St. Louis Cardinals, 8.5 total as well. It is a 2:15 game, 81 degrees in St. Louis. It's hot as usual. Wind blowing in at 12 miles an hour. 3.69 implied for the Cubs. 4.81 for the Cardinals. Alec Mills and his 5.3K salary, and Jack Flaherty, a cheap 6.6K. What do you think about those pitchers?
It's really been surprising to me how Flaherty struggled this year. I think he gave up like 6 runs in his last start against the Brewers, and he's not the same guy that we've seen in the past. So
no,
it's really been surprising to watch him struggle.
Yeah, he's since coming back from injury, it's just not there. But I don't know, stacking against him.
I don't think
it was a little rough.
Yeah, I wouldn't stack against him. That Cubs lineup isn't strong enough for me to stack a full stack, but they do have Contreras and Happ and some guys like that I would consider. But
yeah. All right, next one, 235 in the Dome in Texas. It's Washington Nationals and Texas Rangers. 9's at the total. 3.95 implied for Washington. And the Rangers over 5 with a 5.05 implied total. Jackson Tetrault at 5.1K for Washington. Glenn Otto at 7K for the Rangers. Not sure.
I kind of like the Rangers a little bit against Tetrault. I think that they can give him some trouble. He's been shaky in his couple starts, so I think he's targetable for sure.
We will see. It's been that inconsistent Texas lineup. It's hard to figure sometimes, but they have some guys that can pop it out. There's no doubt about it.
Couple that are lefties, I think, can do some damage. So
yep.
And Garcia's been really good. I mean, he's just solid. So.
Yeah, he hit that walk-off yesterday. Smashed it, too.
Yep.
All right, we have a 4:05 afternoon game, Cincinnati at San Francisco. My man Logan Webb came through for me yesterday. He was the key to a lot of the wins. How about it? Even though it's a 4:05 Eastern game, only 59 degrees at game time.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour wind, slight to left. Only an 8 total, 3.58 implied for Cincinnati, 4.42 for San Francisco. Tyler Mahle, it's 9.4K, and Anthony DeSclafani, 6.4K. So interesting. Nice place to pitch, though.
Yeah. Mahle's been good for the most part, but he has struggled at times. So I could see that Giants lineup getting some hits on him. It's funny because Friday night I was all in on the Giants and they didn't do anything. And then, of course, yesterday they go off for 9 runs. So,
well, maybe they can get it. Maybe they get it back for you today off of Mahle, because that'll be pretty low-owned stack, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so. And Brandon Belt, he really needs to get it going. He's really been slumped since he came back from his injury. So
he has. They even dropped him down in the order.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, at 4:07, Seattle and Los Angeles Angels, that is. 9 total, 4.19 implied for Seattle, and 4.81. It's 4.19 if I said it backwards for Seattle, and 4.81 for the LA Angels. 93 degrees in LA today. Quite a difference from the San Francisco game.
Yeah.
But it's a hot one, and 8-mile-an-hour breeze blowing out to right center. Marco Gonzalez, 7.7K on the hill for Seattle, and Jose Suarez at 6.8K for the Angels. Interesting game.
Yeah. So, Coach, I was just looking at the Giants against Mahle, and Brandon Belt's 2 for 4 with 2 homers. So this could be the game he gets back on track.
You called him out, so why not? This could be it.
Yeah.
All right.
For the Angels, I mean, it kind of feels like it's going one day is Trout Day, one day is Ohtani Day. So I guess with that being said, we should expect a big Trout Day.
I would think, or both of them. Who knows?
53 home runs against the Mariners in his career.
Oh, my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
Nuts. All right, 4:10 Phillies Padres, 7.5 total, 3.36 implied for Philly, 4.14 for San Diego. Nice 81 degrees, which is hot for San Diego. Usually it's in the 70s. It's very hot for them. No really wind to speak about. Kyle Gibson on the hill for Philly at 8.4K. And your buddy, Yu Darvish, on the hill for the Padres, 9.2K.
Flip a coin with that guy. I mean, it's just, one time I start him, he's lights out. The next time he's out of the game in the 3rd inning. That's just how it is with him. So
yeah, it's a hard game to call there, but I tend to like the bats a little bit more, especially with it being that warm in San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, Philly's lineup's tough. That they can definitely get to Yu Darvish, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do a little bit.
I wouldn't either. I'm looking at the pre-lineup here. It's not official, but I don't see Harper in it.
Oh yeah, because he's dealing with what is it? I saw that the other day.
An injury, huh?
Injury. He won't be back. Estimated return August 1st.
Wow. Well, that makes a difference for Darvish, big time.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference without him in the lineup.
Yeah.
Well, you got projected lineup is well, you had it. You said you had it there. So
Schwarber, Hoskins, Gregorius,
third,
Edie, third, Castellanos, Realmuto, Herrera, Baum, Stott, and Verling. So
yeah, it's
I
definitely
like to pick on Darvish, but that's not the best Phillies lineup.
No, it's not. I mean, especially if he can get past those first 3 of those 4 guys, I mean, he's really kind of clear from there. So, yeah,
maybe that brings Darvish in play.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know what his price is over on Yahoo, but yeah, he could definitely be an option with Harper out of that lineup.
Interesting. All right, last 2. We've got a 4-10 game in Arizona in the Dome, Detroit at Arizona. 9 total, 4.22 implied for Detroit, 4.78 for Arizona. Bo Brisky and his 7.2K salary against Dallas Keuchel, the return of Dallas Keuchel, 5.7K in Arizona. Interesting.
Yeah, he's somebody we were stacking against earlier in the year, so we'll have to see how. I guess this is his debut for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I think they signed him, and I believe this is his first start with that club. So,
yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Well, we'll be looking at this one, maybe a sneaky stack game there that most people won't pay attention to.
Yeah.
And then the feature game tonight is the Dodgers and Braves at 7:08, 8.5 total. It is 88 in Atlanta, wind blowing in at 5 miles per hour, so more of a breeze. And you've got 4.26 implied for LA, 4.25 for Atlanta. Or I'm sorry, 4.25 for both for that 8.5. Tony Gonsolin versus Spencer Strider. So
yeah,
it's a nice evening game to catch.
Yeah, I mean, Strider struggled a little bit in that last game against the Giants. Got knocked out pretty early, a lot earlier than people thought. We'll have to see how he bounces back, but that's a tough lineup to try and bounce back against for sure. I mean, the Dodgers are no easy game for sure.
No.
So I was looking at the Detroit lineup. They've got 7 guys that have hit 240 or better against Keuchel. So they actually have had quite a bit of success against him.
Interesting. Yeah, a lot of
a low-owned, you want to talk about a low-owned stack, they would definitely be low-owned, I would think.
I'll tell you what, though, Detroit stinks, man. Their team is awful.
Yeah.
I hate
I know.
tough on the Detroit fans.
I know they are, but Keuchel's awful too. So
he is. He is.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. But if you're afraid of Green, Torkelson, Candelario, Castro, and yuck.
Well, it's the other guys. It's like Grossman and Baez and Scope and Cabrera. Those kind of guys are the ones that I was looking at the most that have had the most success. So
you never know. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But going back to the other game, I think the bats on both sides can be pretty good. Gonsolin's been really good though. So I mean, how do you feel about him tonight?
I've loved Gonsolin this year. I probably played him in at least 2/3 of his starts. I mean, I think I've rostered him more than any other pitcher in the league. And boy, has he paid off. I mean, his numbers are just terrific. So, I mean, it's hard not to like him. I'm just, I'm never comfortable playing somebody, a pitcher in Atlanta when it's hot.
Yeah.
I need to see if Acuna's in the lineup. They show him in the pre-lineup. I had him in there yesterday and he got hurt and had to leave the game. So I'm interested to see if he is officially going to play or not. So that's a big part too.
Are they currently projecting him to start or no?
Right now RotoWire has him projected in there. So we'll see if that holds true. But Gonsolin is 9-0 with a 1.58 ERA.
Wow,
Did you realize he was that? I mean, phenomenal.
No, I did not.
His WHIP is 0.82, and he's got 64 Ks. 9-0.
Wow.
So
that's tough for sure.
How about this last game? He only threw 87 pitches. That's all he had to throw. 58 of them were strikes. And here's the amazing part. He generated 19 swinging strikes. I mean, that's like 3 starts, 4 starts for some guys, let alone 1 start. So, but he only had to pitch 5 innings in that game because they won. But before that, he had a string of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row with over 40 Fanduel points. So hard to completely dispel him in, where you can play him. He's not on all the slates. But on the ones that he is, he's certainly got to be considered.
For sure.
All right, let's dive into our picks today, and let's start off with your pay-up pitcher.
It's going to be Shane McClanahan. He's 11-4 on FanDuel, 10-3 on DraftKings, going up against the Pirates. They have the second highest strikeout rate this year at 25.3%, and they've scored the 3rd fewest runs per game. They have a lineup that has a lot of young, talented lefties that have been doing really well against right-handed pitchers. They do have a couple bats that can hit lefties, but McClanahan's been awesome. I mean, he has 8 straight quality starts where he struck out 7 or more in those 8 starts. So he's the clear top pay-up option for me. As I mentioned earlier, you have Dylan Cease as another option. He's righties are only hitting 179 against him, and the Orioles have a pretty heavy right-handed bat lineup. So. And Rougned Odor is one of their better lefties. He's been dealing with a back injury, so they really have almost all righties in that lineup. So I like him a little bit, but as you mentioned, they're going to have 20-mile-an-hour winds, so that kind of makes me a little bit hesitant to go to him.
Yeah. My top pitcher's also McClanahan. I think it's just a no-brainer today. I mean, we give out more contrarian picks, and my lineups last night that won everything. All kinds of different things. I had so many guys that were 2%, 3%, 4%. But, there are times where you just have to eat the chalk and pay the salary. And this matchup is so perfect. I mean, Pittsburgh literally, although some of these young guys are talented, I'll give them that.
Right.
And I've been playing some of these guys, Diego Castillo and a couple of these guys. I like some of their young talent. However, it really is double and triple A players. There's no doubt. And McClanahan's been on his game. Pittsburgh strikes out. I mean, there's just nothing at all that would even give me any doubt about rostering him. And I'm fine. 10-3 on DraftKings, 11-4 on FanDuel. Does sting a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is. And 56 on Yahoo. I mean, that's Jacob deGrom kind of pricing, when he was unhittable.
Sure.
But I'm going there. There's enough value with all these teams that you can find the players to make up that salary. But I just think he's too good to pass up today.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you have for value?
Yeah, so I'm going to be going with, and this is another game where we've got some wind that I'm going to have to consider, but I do like the matchup, Joe Ryan against Colorado.
Yeah.
They've scored the 3rd fewest runs per game away from being at home in Coors, of course. And they're only scoring 3.12 runs per game on the road. They also have been striking out a lot more. They have the 15th strikeout rate overall, but they're 15th lowest at home. So they strike out a lot less at home. So they do strike out more on the road. And Joe Ryan, he started against Cleveland last time, and they had the lowest strikeout rate, and he struck out 7. So I think that he can strike out 7 against them. He could definitely get that or more, hopefully close to double digits against the Rockies. So
I'm with you, man. I mean, it is what it is. Joe's been tough. I think he's his projections for the rest of the season are really strong. I think that just Colorado is just not a good team. Now, I am concerned if I do see that those wins are sustained or picked up. I'm definitely going to consider switching just because he does give up some fly balls. And if the wind is that bad, he's going to have to face some guys that, could normal fly balls be out of the ballpark. And, he's given up some runs. He will give up some runs, but that strikeout number, really shows that he's stepping in the right direction. So I'm a lukewarm Joe Ryan as my value. I'm going to follow that a little bit closer as the day goes on.
Yeah, it's not a slam dunk for me either, but there just weren't a lot of great value options that I liked that I considered. So
I agree.
I think Joe Ryan.
I'm excited on FanDuel because I just can take McClanahan and not worry about it.
Exactly. You don't have to worry about that second pitcher. But yeah. And I mean, sometimes the second pitcher can be the one that kills you. So it is very important on those
super important
two pitcher sites that you get both of them right. So
And again, we'll be in Discord throughout, and we'll be sharing who that value pitcher ends up. We give out core plays on DraftKings, full lineups on FanDuel and Yahoo. So come and join us, dfscoachtalk.com. Who's your fade pitcher today, Crash?
It's going to be Cortez. He's 10-1 on both FanDuel and DraftKings. Wow. He's got, his strikeouts have been down. He's allowed 4 runs in 2 of his last 3 starts. He hasn't had a quality start in his last 3 starts. Going up against Houston, they have the 3rd lowest strikeout rate. So I think he'll continue to get struggle to get strikeouts. And I just, McClanahan and Cease are just clearly above him for me. So I think that I don't know how much his ownership, how high that's going to be, but I think that Cortez is going to struggle because his last couple matchups haven't really even been that tough that he struggled against. But yeah, I just don't like this matchup for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not I didn't list him as my fade pitcher, but I think he's a great fade today. I mean, he is 6-3 with a 2.31 ERA, so he's been terrific.
Yeah.
And it's just like you said, all the points you brought up are right there. I mean, it's hot, 87 in New York. The ball flies. I mean, you could flick it out there to right field.
Right.
And so I'm just, I don't trust this game. I think that Yankees no-hitter was such a fluke. So I'm fading this entire game pitching-wise. I can tell you right now. My number one fade, I think the Yankees break out here. They're one of my stacked teams. I think they go from being no-hit to 8 or 9 runs today. I don't like your Quiddy. He's my fade pitcher. I know he's not going to be owned much, and they're saying, hey, coach, nice hot take. But I just think he's going to get smashed. Anybody that thinks the Yankees are going to follow up with another game where they can't hit the ball, I think they're dreaming. And I just think that was one of those fluke things. Yes, it was hot yesterday in New York as well. I get all that. But I'll take that roll of the dice with the Yankees bats. I think your Quiddy, he'll be one of my plays for sure on PrizePicks for under. I think he gets smoked. And again, I'm not going to play any Cortez in this type of matchup at his salary either.
Yeah, you could probably take the under on both of those guys pretty comfortably, I think. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, man. How about your BVP?
Yeah, my BVP play is going to be Tommy Edman. He's 3,700 on FanDuel, 5,200 on DraftKings. He's 778 against Alec Mills with 7 hits and 9 at-bats, 4 singles, 2 doubles, and a home run. Plus, he has 17 stolen bases this year, so he just has a lot of ways of getting you points. And he hasn't been putting up huge numbers in this series so far, so I think he's going to break out today.
I like it. I'm going with a guy that's been hotter than fish grease, as they say on some of these shows this month, and that's Rhys Hoskins. He's put a bunch of good games together, and he's going against Yu Darvish, and he's faced him only 13 times, but he's batting .385 against him. A couple of extra base hits, 5 hits all total. He's homered, 3 ribbies, walked a couple of times, 1159 OPS, 692 slugging, 467 OBP, and like I say, that 385 average. And again, I know it hurts not having Harper in that lineup, but I still think Rhys Hoskins is their next best hitter. He'd be the guy I'd want at the plate for Philly.
Yeah, I like that.
HR call.
All right, so I'm taking the easy way out here, I think.
Mike Trout.
Yeah.
I'm taking Mike Trout as well.
Okay.
Let's just plug him in every lineup. The dude's just against Marco Gonzalez, 13 for 53, 6 extra base hits. 3 of them are homers.
13 for 35, not 53.
Yeah. Oh, 13 for 35. Yeah. Boy, I'm dyslexic today. That's the third
well,
time.
You're probably thinking about
my numbers.
53 home runs against him is probably why you said that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's 53 against Seattle. So
53 against Seattle, exactly. But he's got 3 of those against Marco Gonzalez, and just all the numbers. Walked 5 times.
93 degrees today.
Yeah, so, it's a hard not to pay up for Trout today, in my opinion. That's for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. Did you see that one that Ohtani smashed last night, 462?
Yeah, he absolutely murdered it. I mean, that guy is just, I mean, the way he's hitting the ball out and then striking guys out pitching-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think people realize. I mean, Babe Ruth was that kind of guy, and this might be our generation's Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
I mean, who else has even gotten close to this?
Yeah. Yeah, and who would have thought he'd be from Japan? So But yeah, and what was I going to say? 118 exit velocity was the home run. 118 miles an hour.
That's unbelievable. That would kill somebody. If you're the pitcher, if that's right back at you, good luck.
Right.
All right, let's hit stacks. I know that's super important. Before I hit stacks, though, if you're on YouTube right now watching this, take a half a second. That's what literally it takes. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the little alert in the upper corner. This way, when any of our podcasts post, you're going to be alerted right away. And we really appreciate that thumbs up. We've had our best viewership the last 7 weeks now since we started Coach Talk. We are really moving up as far as viewership. So we really do appreciate it. A lot of it is because all of you are hitting the thumbs up, giving us a comment. And we'll be in there. I'll be in there at least for the preview when this posts so we can chat and go from there. So definitely take advantage of jumping aboard. If you're listening audio podcast-wise, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that it can be heard, we're almost at the end of the month. And at the end of each month, our man Colin goes through, and anybody that listens to the audio podcast gives us the top rating, 5-star, whatever it is, and leaves a little comment, even if it's 2-3 words. There's a drawing for a free month of DFS Coach Talk. So jump on that if you can, wherever you listen audio podcast wise. All right, stack machine. What do you got?
The Yankees, of course, they're my top stack. We've mentioned it throughout the show, why we like them as a top stack. After being no-hit yesterday, I don't care who they're pitching up against. I would feel comfortable with them. So
I agree.
Against Liquidity, it's a borderline easy matchup for them, I think. So we'll see what happens, but it should be a good day for the Yankees. And then, as much as I hate to say it, Toronto against Chichi Gonzalez. They've had some success against him in the past already, and hopefully. For the Blue Jays' sake, hopefully George Springer will be back in the lineup today. So he'll just be another one you can add. I mean, he's been out, so that's a big deal for them, obviously. So if he's back in the lineup, all those righties, Chapman, Gurriel, along with, of course, Springer and Guerrero and Bichette. So just a lot of power from the right-hand side for the Blue Jays. And then if it plays, I think Cleveland against Rich Hill, they can do some damage as a GPP stack. If not, like I said before, I like the Rangers. Oh, and Hunter Renfroe just got placed on the 10-day injured list.
Hey, I've got to let my dog out this back door. He's having a heart attack here. He got to go out so bad. So fill in with your stacks. I'll jump right back in.
Yeah, so the Rangers, they're going up against Jackson Tetriot. I like their lefties, Corey Seager and Nate Lau, as well as the righties in Adolis Garcia and Marcus Semien. And then with the Guardians, like I said, if that game plays against Rich Hill, Jose Ramirez is 4 for 8 against Rich Hill with 2 home runs. Franmil Reyes, Ahmad Rosario also have good numbers against him. And then you can always play Hedges, Austin Hedges against the lefty. And then I like Stephen Kwan a little bit too. So those would be my top guys from the Guardians. All right. So
I'm back.
I lost my train of thought there for a second because I went over the Guardians and the Rangers and who I liked, and then I didn't know where to go because it was your turn. So.
No worries. Chance is much happier now. I had forgot to let him out before, and he was not a happy camper. But
yeah.
Anyway, for me, I agree with you on the Yankees. I think, no brainer there against Urquidy, and I just think they're going to open it up. Now, we're realistic here, though. So let's face the facts. Let's talk about this for half a second. And we're going to build a 2 brains lineup, to help get an idea. I told everybody McClanahan's my top pick, which he is, top pitcher, but he's most expensive. I want Trout in all my lineups if I can get him. He's extremely expensive. So how in the hell am I going to fit a Yankee stack in there? That's going to be tough.
You're going to stack the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, for me, my strategy today is those guys that I just said, and then trying to find one-offs, which I've had a lot of success with doing on teams where I think they're in a good spot, and you get those 22. If you can fit in a couple of 22 or 2-min or 2-4 guys, then all the rest of that can shuffle in. And I'll tell you, last night I put 2 of them in, and they got 10 and 14 points for me. If guys like that can, at least contribute, then it gets you to those big numbers. So that's, just to answer. I mean, it's easy. And a lot of shows you watch like this, they're going to give you, not that they're not all good, but it's just there's a lot of chalk given out and a lot of high priced guys. And then you go to build it and it's like, what? I can't do this. So we back it up at Coach Talk by giving full lineups in Yahoo and FanDuel and giving you a base that you can build the rest of the guys around in DraftKings. So, that's going to be a key today as well. Are you doing clipboard today or?
I am going to do the clipboard, and I just wanted to say the Guardians lineup just came out, and so it looks like, because I mentioned Stephen Kwan, he's not going to be in the lineup, but Owen Miller is a right-handed bat. He's going to be leading off for them. So you got Miller, Rosario, Ramirez, and Reyes at the top 4, and I like all those top 4 against Rich Hill. So even Austin Gonzalez is a good 5th option. So.
Right. My other 2 stacked teams other than the Yankees are both the teams from that game. And that's the one game that has the weather issue. So I'll be watching that extremely closely because it may scare some people off ownership in that game, especially since if you look at the radar, it looks like it's going to rain. But I'm not concerned about either pitcher, so that doesn't scare me if there's a delay. I just love the hitting on both sides against these pitchers. And a couple of these bullpen guys have been struggling a little bit for both teams as well. They do have a few decent ones, but, again, I just think I want bats from this game. There's some that are inexpensive they're hitting in the middle of the lineups. Boston's a little bit tougher, but I'm going to try to get to these guys if it's not a really dire rain situation.
Yeah, and it looks like for the Astros, Yordan Alvarez is out, so he's not in their lineup today.
That's enormous. He's their best player, so
that is a big deal.
But I don't think they want him facing Cortez,
which he's good against lefties, so I'm not sure, but is what it is.
Yeah, interesting. All right, let's dive into PrizePicks. What do you say?
All right.
Let's get that done, and then we'll build the 2 brains, and we'll be on down the road so everybody can get this set.
Yeah, so my top play is going to be Mike Trout, over 8.5 fantasy score. I just think that's very doable for him. He's just killed the Mariners throughout his whole career, so I like that 8.5, over 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, that is a low number. I'm surprised, although they don't really go higher than that. Have you seen 9s or 10s?
Yeah. Vladimir Guerrero has 9.5 today.
Wow.
But he hasn't really been doing much in this series, and it makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go with again, prize picks you can play wherever. It's not like the slates where you have to do, what we do. So I'm going Tony Gonsolin over 33.5 pitcher fantasy score. I read off those 7 in a row before this last game where he had in the 30s, but he had in the 40s 7 games in a row, and he's 33.5. So I just think that's a great number.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough matchup. It is, but I still think that's a solid number for sure.
I'll take. I mean, I have him literally at 39. That's the most I've had somebody projected higher. 5.5.
Yeah,
so
5.5. That's a lot.
That's a lot for me. There's no question about it.
Let's see here what I have.
We'll give out one more, and then we'll share the other ones in Discord.
Yeah, so mine changed overnight. It was going to be Shane McClanahan over 7.5 fantasy strikeouts, but he's at 8 now.
Oh,
and so I think that there's a decent chance that he'll push at 8. So I kind of want to go away from that, and I think I'm going to actually go with his 44.5, which is high, but I think he can get there over on his fantasy score.
Yeah. Now that number makes sense to me, 44.5.
Yeah, it's a lot higher than
that's a lot. And it, but I agree. I think he's the best pick on the slate. So
yeah, I mean, if he gets 8 strikeouts and doesn't allow 1 or 2 runs, pitches 7 or 8 innings, he's going to be there. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to again. I'm going to be focusing on this Cleveland-Boston game if the weather holds. So it's weather, dependent. But I like Jose Ramirez. He's just a hitting machine. 8.5. If it doesn't rain, it's going to be real warm in Cleveland. So feel really good with Jose Ramirez over fantasy score 8.5.
Yeah, I believe he's 4 for 8 with 2 home runs against Rich Hill. So
yeah, I almost took him as my BVP. So
BVP play. Yeah.
All right, let's build this. 2 brains are better than 1 Fanduel GPP. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to plug Shane McClanahan in and be done with it.
Coach, I was going to take Chichi Gonzalez.
I figured you were.
Yeah.
That's why I picked first.
Oh.
It's a little bone chilling, though, when you take the picture here and all of us, you're under 3,000 for your average right off the bat.
That's a little scary. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to have to find some serious value in a few spots here.
Yeah. All right. So let me.
You're on the clock, just like I watched the NBA draft, man. You're going to have to lose your pick. That's okay.
Yeah. So you took McClanahan, right, for pitcher?
I did.
Okay. I'm gonna take some more salary here, so we're gonna really be up against it. But I'm gonna go with the guy you mentioned for your home run call. I'm gonna go with Ramirez. On the FanDuel site, he's one of the top pay up options. So
Ramirez, he's like $1 million though, too, isn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's one of the top pay up options.
Holy smokes! All right, I'm gonna take again. Going with the second Guardian here, Oscar Gonzalez, 2,600.
Okay.
He's going to hit cleanup. Again, we got to watch the weather. And if it looks like we're afraid and we're going to back out of this game or it gets postponed, Colin will post our updated 2 Brains lineup on Twitter. And by the way, on Twitter, we're at DFS Coach Talk. He is at JP Davis 1982, and I am at Joe Sarvati. But it'll be posted at DFS Coach Talk if there are any changes in the 2 Brains lineup.
Help is on the way, Coach. I've got Taylor Walls at shortstop, 2,100 leading.
I love that guy too.
Yeah, he's leading off. So.
I've been playing him a lot. 2,100 is a nice little fill in there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a lot of salary savings right there.
I've got a couple of choices that I'd like to go with here, but I don't know if we can quite afford them. So let me make sure. Let's see what the deal is. Okay. Can't get him. So I think I'm going to go to the outfield, try to get somebody in the range that makes sense for us. It's between a couple of guys here. It is tough, when you can't take all the guys that you want, but
right.
Why they have to have a salary problem, I don't know. I want to get some exposure to the Yankees. The thing is, even their infielders that bat them down in the order are expensive.
Yeah.
You can't really get much of a break with anybody.
Gleyber Torres, 34. I know you're not a big Hicks guy. He's probably the cheapest.
I think I'm going to go at second base. DJ LeMahieu's 32.
Okay, I can
that
live
keeps
with that.
Us in the game.
Yeah, I'm going to take Lourdes Gurriel at 2,900.
Lourdes Gurriel, 2,900. That gives us 2,800 per dude. Let's see what we have in that realm of possibility. This is a weird pick, but okay. I like him. MJ Melendez, 2,600, catcher, first base, Kansas City. It's hot there. I think he's homering today.
All right. I'm going to take Seth Brown in the out. You want outfield or first base? He's both.
Outfield.
Okay. All right. That leaves you with 3,300. So hopefully you can get a decent guy for that.
$3,300 for a utility spot. Let's see what we got. 3,300 and down. Oh, I guess. Oh, wow. There's a couple of good picks here.
Yeah. Who are you liking?
For me, it's between Altuve, Kirk, and Yelich. Ooh, Kirk's really slowed down.
Well, he did pretty good in that first.
Oh, no, he hasn't. Yesterday he did bad, but the games before that, oh my God, where did this guy come from?
I have no idea.
He's going to be an all-star, man.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about during the series. He's going to be an all-star. Yeah.
Good Lord. I'll take him. I mean, I've got my respect for him.
Yeah.
So we've got McClanahan, Melendez, LeMahieu, Ramirez, Walls, Gonzalez, Gurriel, Brown, and Kirk. That is our two brains are better than one lineup for this day, Sunday, June 26th.
Yeah.
Tuesday, did I say? Or Sunday? Did I say Tuesday? Sunday?
I believe it's Sunday.
I don't know, man. Yeah. I don't know what day.
I think you said Sunday, though. I really do. So.
Where did Tuesday come in my head? I don't know.
No idea.
But this is it, man. That's it. So that gives you a breakdown of the games, a little look at the weather, some of our picks, some of our builds, fades. Yeah. Hopefully that gives everybody an idea. I'm going to try to get a good SP2 in there. That's what I'm going to be working on the next couple of hours so that I can get a few more Yankees bats in there. But
yeah, if the game for the Guardians doesn't play, I'll probably go with Chapman unless you want to go with Donaldson. What do you want to do there? Just so we have a little bit of an idea, give our members
I would say probably Donaldson. He's due.
Okay. They're both going to give us quite a bit of salary, so we can make some more adjustments on our lineup if we want.
I'm going to believe that game's going to play, so I'm holding out hope that we get that Guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a key game. And I hope it stays questionable all the way, and then we make the call, because that way people's indecisiveness will give us a real leverage play with those guys.
And then Ramirez will hit a double dong, and I'll be ecstatic.
That would work for me from both sides of the plate. Hit one from right, one from left.
Yeah, since he's a switch hitter.
Yep. All right, man. Appreciate it. Great job. I think we got some good stuff here to work with for the day.
Yeah.
I know you'll be posting this here pretty quickly as soon as it loads up, and I'll jump on there for the preview and check everybody out. So,
yep.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy
You
it.
too.
Stay nice and cool. And we will certainly be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB, DFS, and Prize Picks.